Thank you for joining in for another episode of TTW Media. I am Stephen Jassid, author, writer of Tell the World Understanding Oneself. If you are looking for that book, you can find it on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and also who I self-publish with, OutskirtPress.com. Today I just wanted to point out the fact of the stock market. I know a lot of people is talking about the market and how it's kind of like, oh, we're in a recession. It's looking bad, right? So I just kind of wanted to point out that a lot of times what may look really bad can be a good opportunity for buyout. Depending on when you got into the market, now is the time to buy up a lot of stuff. Right now I'm holding on to about 1,500 shares into a company. And it's not about trying to, I'm going to get rich. It's not about that. What this is all about is you're allocating your money trying to get an ROI, return on your investment. And if you are not taking a risk, because as they say, no risk, no reward. Yes, you are risking losing money. You can lose your money. But if you do not have a financial education and if you do not understand market trading, options trading, what all this is about, then of course you're going to lose your money. We've all been there. I lost money, thousands of dollars. But all at the same time, what you use your spare time, whether it's working the 9-to-5 job, if you are, and to pay off your assets, the things that you built up to live a prosperous life. And a lot of times if you get distracted from that, meaning, okay, I'm losing money in the market, I'm going to sell everything. But what if everything bounces back? Not what if, when everything bounces back, then you'll be looking up like, oh my gosh, now I need to get in. Well, you should have got in when everything was cheap. The reason why things go down because it gives people an opportunity to invest. Yes, things happen with the economy. Yes, the currency is looking a certain way, but these things happen. It happens through history. History has told us it's going to crash, and history has told us that it bounces right back. Now, the 2008 was another crash. Now they're talking about another one coming up, and what I'm looking at, I'm like, wow, this looks like a crash now because we're in the red. We've been seeing red for about 2 weeks now. But all at the same time, depending on your level and understanding of the market, you know that, wow, it's fire sale. Red means sales. Yes, it's cheap. And yes, it may be cheaper from when you got into it. But look at it like this. You bought 50 shares at $2.15. And depending on the state of the company, yes, the economy is dropping. But now it went from $2.15 to $150. Maybe $145, heck, maybe $100. But the company's still operating in the manner in which it's still generating funds. And the only reason why things are down is because whatever the economic stance we're at, then you should know that, let me pick up more. Let me buy more because things don't always stay down. As they say, trouble don't last always or doesn't last always. And so we it seemed like we panic. And then when things recover, we forget about at the state of panic we were just in because now we're living in a state of peace and recovery, so on and so forth. And you forget about that panic. But imagine if you use that panic and open your mind up and say, wait, let me buy more stock because when the storm is over, when the panic is over with and everything recovers, it bounces back, then I will have this much, especially when you have a goal. Market traders, there's always a goal. And the goal is what? To make money. And how do you do it? You buy when it's real cheap and you sell when it's, at its peak. And that rhymes. So as I say, when things rhyme like that, it makes sense to me. Because it's not a coincidence that it falls into place. So when it's cheap, you sell at its peak. So when it peaks out for you, regardless of what the peak is for you, whatever, meaning there are things in life that happens, and we're always in a state of I need some money, we need to make more. So if you're using this as this market trade as a tool, you know that, okay, now it's time to get in. Let me buy more. Even if you were to sell your stock, because it's going under from when you bought in, so you got your stop loss already in place. You got to learn about the tool, so you put your stop loss in place so you don't lose your money. And then you weigh back and you see how far it's going to drop. And if it falls underneath from when you originally got into, that's when you know that, oh my gosh, this is a sale. This is crazy. Because now you can buy more, even twice as more from when you got in. So your 50 can turn into 100 shares, maybe 200 shares, maybe 300 shares. So now you have 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as much as when you first started, because of the fire sale aspect, because everything is cheaper now. And so you want to live your life like that. And you don't want to rush things. You want to let everything play out, regardless of how everybody's saying it's negative and negative this and negative that and negative this and Trump this and Trump that and Hillary this and Hillary that. I look at all that as a distraction. And they are distractions, you see. Because why? Our goal is to generate wealth. Yes, whatever they're doing on both sides, it does affect the market. But like I said before, you have a financial education. So even while these politicians are making mistakes at what they do, take advantage of a down market. Buy more stocks, because when it recovers, you'll have 3, 4, 5 times that much money. And that's the type of strategy that we all need to have. And that's why I'm in the market. I'm up at 1,500 shares right now. I've never have owned 1,500 shares. So I'm looking like, okay, it cost, if I would have got in when everything was going great, I would have half that. But now it's cheap and things are at fire sales, and I can get up to 1,500 shares. Now when the market recovers and when it'll reach its peak, that's when I'll get rid of it, and then I'll have 3, 4, 5 times that as the money, and I can reinvest. Or invest something in my passion, invest more equipment in podcasting, invest in the studio I'm trying to build up, invest in things that's going to help me carry my passion. You see, and this is why I'm into the market. This is why people get into real estate. You see, because it generates enough income for you to live your passion and to live your dream. So you don't have to keep waking up and living the 9 to 5 and working 40 hours and working for somebody else, living somebody else's dream. Life is not meant to live like that. Life is meant to live your dream. What is your dream? You got to ask yourself that. What do you want to produce in this reality, on this planet, on this earth? You see, we got Steve Jobs, and we have Michael Jordans, and we have Beyonce and our rappers, and we have so many people that are in different sectors that are great. So you have to think like that. What do you want to be great in? And then you follow the money trail on how to be great in that sector. And that's how you become great. You have to follow your passion, my friend. And that's the key. You have to have understanding of the economic structure, what's going on in society, my friend. And that's the key. You see, continuing working and not having your money to be allocated in an ROI, meaning a return allocated into something that's going to have a return on an investment, meaning every time you have $100, when you buy a pair of shoes, it's just for the shoes to wear on your feet for whatever position that you're in, whether it's for a club, whether it's for a job interview, whether it's for whatever. Guess what? The shoes on your feet is for something. So you choose to buy what you need that's going to be the highest expression of yourself. And a lot of people, when they get their money, they overdo it. They'll overbuy accessories and overbuy things that doesn't even matter. But the time frame on it of whatever they bought is going to be very short. So meaning you spent $100, and now that item in which you bought it's decaying. You see, so the money that has been used, that energy, that currency, is decayed. This is why so many people, they live in poverty, because they're allocating their money in something that's decaying on a regular, and it's not going to have a return on their investment. Now, we all want to look good, but as you're looking good, is that look and that image, is it going to reflect a return on investment on your lifestyle? Meaning, are you using your look to draw people in as far as who are you? What business do you own? What do you operate? From my experience of the world, the first thing that people ask is, who are you? What's your name? And do you own and or run a business? And these are the people that I'm encountering. They don't say who do you work for. They say, do you own and or operate a business? This is the real world. The real world's not going to say who do you work for. Because working for somebody is letting people know that you're still trying to figure it out. You're still a slave. There's nothing wrong with working a 40-hour week. Sometimes I have to do what I have to do in order to keep afloat. But at the same time, I'm using the financial investment or increasement that I earned into something besides paying the bill, but making sure that a portion of that goes into an account that's going to generate an ROI. So when I lay my head down at night and when I wake up in the morning, that ROI or that amount that I invested, it's not amount. Yes, it may go down and yes, it may go up. But long-term investment, there are higher degrees that it goes up than down, and that's long-term. When things are cheap now, you're working the 9 to 5, things are cheap, you bought 50 stocks, it costs you a certain amount of money, it's cheap, now you can buy twice as much. Use that same strategy and buy more. So when it recovers, you can sell not just 50 shares, but now you can sell 250 shares and invest in your passion, reinvest into the market, or do what you need to do to get ahead. There's nothing wrong with being on government assistance. But if you are not living your life and not working, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. You got to allocate your money into something that it's going to grow. Money is currency. So how you feel about yourself is what type of money you're going to generate. That's why millionaires are always happy. That's why we keep a smile on our faces. And I say we because I look at all of us. Even if you're watching this video, that means you're destined to be great. You're destined to be wealthy. And we're all destined to be great and wealthy. But if we don't see videos like this, that it is possible, it is capable, there are tools out there. And if we utilize those tools to get ahead, like the stock market, like real estate, like you becoming a business, like you coming out with something that's going to generate an IRR for the best opportunities for your life. So you got to look at it. Who are you? And what do you bring to society? And how can you be great? We are all great. How can you be great? And that is the key. So I use Robinhood. It's a free commission trading app, and now they do have web, so you can actually trade on the web as well, not just from your phone. And the link will definitely be down below, because if you sign up using my link, you can definitely get a free stock. I also have a TD Ameritrade account, so I'm just not relying on one application. I have multiple applications, and this is the strategies that we all need to use to protect ourselves from what? Losing money. So there are ways. We don't have to live, as they say, you don't have to live the fast life. You just have to figure yourself out, put things together. You may have to sacrifice some things. You may have to, rent an apartment. You may have to downsize. It's okay. But downsize because you want to have a greater outcome on your future. Stop thinking what I'm going to do next year, what I'm going to do next year. Think 10 years in advance. Think a decade in advance. Don't think a year in advance. Think a decade in advance. And this is the mind state that we all need to have. So that's called reconstructing the mind. You have to reconstruct your thinking. You have to surround yourself around people that thinks like that thinks money generating. I'm going to generate money, and I'm going to be a money magnet, and I'm going to listen to things that constantly that's going to be embedded within my subconscious brain. Wealth. I am great. I am all there is. I am a business. There is no such thing as poverty. I am great. Everything that I vision is beautiful. I have gratitude for everything. Everyone that I encounter, I show unconditional love, kindness, and gratitude. Everything that is around me right now, I show gratitude. So you have to love life. You have to fall in love with life. You have to feel this. You can't just speak things, but you have to feel it. Money, why do you think they call it currency? Because money is a currency. And you, my friend, have to have a certain current embedded in you that reflects currency, that reflects greatness. And I promise you, once you understand that, they call miracles will happen. Not may, but will. And also, too, you got to put yourself in an uncomfortable position. Surround yourself around people that you may never thought that you can surround yourself around. Stop looking at what they say. Oh, this is racist. They're racist. They're not going to like me. We have to move from that state of understanding of who we are. If a person does not like you for whatever that is, move on. Don't acknowledge that and be angry and or upset. Because when you do, you are that person, the angry, upset person. You see, there's a mirror in all of us, and what you experience is whoever you are. So if you're experiencing some discomfort in life, check with yourself. Because 9 times out of 10, that discomfort comes from you. And that's why they say experiences. Life is an experience. We got to learn from our mistakes. We got to learn from who we're interacting with. Tell me your first 5 friends. I can tell you your future, my friend. So are your friends money generators? Are your friends money takers? Are they consumers? Are they producers or are they consumers? Look at it that way. If you have a consumer, producer, producer, you have 3 consumers out of 2 producers, more than likely you're going to be the 6th consumer. Or you may become a producer, but the odds are very high of you becoming a consumer. So you want to be producer. Maybe you're consuming here, but producer. So you want to have more producers than consumers, because great minds think alike. So this is the type of understanding that we need to have. Economic understanding, social understanding, self-understanding. And I guarantee you will start to see, things in life may begin to shift and morph, because now you want to reflect wealth. You don't want to reflect what you've been taught. You don't want to reflect what you're around. You are not that. Understand, you are not that. If you're in an environment you don't want to be, know that you are not that environment. Just start to do and create attributes that reflect the opposite. So you see a lot of drug dealing going on outside. Understand that, I don't want to be called a square, or I don't want to be looked at differently because I'm not out here being like doing what they're doing, because that's negativity and it's going to cause a negative image. And I don't want to be put in or be around or be in a situation to where, what if a drive-by happens, or what if there's a disagreement and an argument, somebody pulls out a gun and the wrong person gets shot. So you got to understand what environment you're in. Who are you around? And how is this going to bring a positive reflection into my life? Are they going to enhance me? So we got to understand ourselves. We got to understand who's around us and who we're around. We all have a choice. You make up every day when you wake up. There is a choice to be made, and you have to understand that. So again, understanding the market, understanding all these things are only tools. This is not a get rich or anything like that. These tools, because you know why? That's why you don't hear about people talking about their market. They'll talk about President Donald Trump, and they'll talk about Clinton. They'll talk about these ambassadors, they'll talk about, the market is plummeting. but you really don't understand why, who's losing money, and what's going on. And I'm not going to get into the market because the market is going down. Well, if you understand certain tools that when the market goes down, you can still get paid, called put options. So look into that. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. Do not take my word for it. I taught myself. I looked at multiple videos. I read multiple books. So talk to your financial advisor. Do your own education. And when you do, you will be greatly rewarded because you will see that, oh, wow. So this is how wealth is generated? This is how wealth and the money is transferred? Seriously? Things become great. You see? So as I look at it, America is great. America is great. We cannot get and focus on the distraction that's been put in place. Because while you guys are focused on these distractions that's been put in place, they are behind your backs making and generating money. Because when the market goes right back up and when everything rebounds, who's the one getting paid? The big companies and the big corporations. When you look at these companies, a lot of these companies, their shares are backed by the institutional investors. So we got to look at the institutions. When things drop, when these banks start dropping money, then you need to start looking, okay, now these banks are pulling out these companies. So maybe I want to be careful. And I haven't really seen big banks pulling out anything right now. I've seen a lot of people buying up a lot of things. So it tells me that, whoa, okay, this is soon to rebound real soon. Yeah, you got to take a hit. I mean, this isn't for the weak. So you got to stomach a lot. And you got to have patience. No risk, no reward. When you sleep, you generate money. When you wake up, there's a possibility the money can be increased. And there's a possibility the money will decrease. But understanding certain strategies and understanding this economic tool, now that's going to have a great increase within your life. And this is why I want to do this video. Because people need to understand that what's going on right now is a good thing. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of buying opportunities right now. It's a lot of red fire sales everywhere. So you buy low, and then you sell high. Keep that in mind. I love y'all. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next episode.